What do you see when you look in the mirror? For me, I see a queen. I realize you are what you say you see. It's just like the song that says, when you get up in the morning, you look in the mirror and say, "Good morning, gorgeous." You are. Sometimes what we perceive to see isn't what we really see. You can be whatever you want to be, and you decide that when you look in the mirror. Good morning, gorgeous. You can see stuff. But a lot of times when we look in the mirror, we don't see the queen or princess or king or prince that we really are. We have this image inside of us that makes us see old, ugly, not enough, useless. We develop this image of ourselves that stops us from being who we truly are. You know, it isn't what you have on the outside. I got a jump sweatsuit on and some cheapo earrings, and I even got sneakers on that has holes in the toes. Most comfortable sneakers with holes. But when I look in the mirror, regardless of what my outside appearance would be, I don't have to be dripping in jewels. I see a queen. I see the possibilities of doing anything. Self-assurance, confidence, a strong direction. That's what I do when I look in the mirror. And I always tell people, you are what you see. If you tell yourself you're that, that's what you are. Now, I don't look in the mirror and see somebody 6 feet tall or 5'10". Nah, I'm about 5'1". I don't see that. I'm just a short queen. I don't see somebody who wears a size 5, because that's not what my image says to be. And if I was, I'm just a slightly larger queen, short queen. But I'm still a queen. I don't have to be all those things. That doesn't make me any less. I am what I say I am. I am bright. I'm smart. I'm a queen. I dictate where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do. I do my path. It starts here, not with the crown. It starts here in your mind. And so many times, why do we start feeling less than? We were young when we were starting out as children. We saw possibilities in everything we can be. We saw dreams, we saw goals. I mean, I did a study on YouTube, not YouTube, excuse me, on Facebook, and I asked people, what did you want to do when you were a child? You know, when we were coming out, when we were in high school, for a lot of us, we had endless possibilities. We could see ourselves being doctors. We saw ourselves being lawyers. We had this confidence. And then guess what? Life started beating you down. You started meeting negativity. You started listening to other people, outside forces. You forgot who you were. And we got lost. And it was an interesting exercise because I heard people say, well, I wanted to be a teacher. I said, are you a teacher? They said, no. A lot of times they did things that were still in the same field of reasoning, but they're not a teacher. I was surprised when my cousin told me she wanted to be a Broadway dancer. I laughed so hard because, a Broadway dancer. So I asked her, well, I never knew that about her. But I asked her, well, why didn't she become a Broadway dancer? And she told me her mother told her, somebody else, told her that she wouldn't be a Broadway dancer. She would be a stripper. She took that image of where her mom said she would be, and that image of her dancing when she looked in the mirror and she was doing all this faded because mama said, now, she didn't have to stay with that. As we grow up and we move away from them, we take that image of what we want to be. Again, fortunately for me, I always had a mom that said, you can be anything you wanted to be. Sometimes what I wanted to be was maybe I shouldn't have been, but she had that image. She never took that away. I remember when we were growing up and just going back through those layers, onion layers, and seeing when we were growing up, and we used to say, well, the people over there, they got a new bike, or they got a new whatever they got new. They were looking, why can't we have it? And I still remember this to this day. And she said to me, well, we don't have to have that. I said, well, why? She said, we don't have to keep up with the Joneses. How we not keep? We're not keeping, I just want a bike, She said, no, we don't have to keep up like with the Joneses. Okay, why don't we have to keep up like Jones? She says, always remember, we are the Joneses. So when you're the Joneses or you're the queen, everybody's keeping up with you. You are confident. You know what you have. You know what you want to do, and you know where you want to go. So I always tell you, what do you see when you look in the mirror? You need to change that image. You need to think in here and here, your heart and your head. What do you see? Do you see somebody who's ready to take on the world, who can go and do anything, who not going to say, I can't do this because I'm too old. I can't do this because of this. I can't do that because of that. You know, sometimes you get up, your body aches a little bit. Well, you know, I'm not going to exercise today because my body hurts. You do it anyhow. You decide in your mind this image that you see. I'm a queen. I walk straight. I make sure I carry myself like a queen. Because a queen, especially from a good country, a queen can go anywhere and can do anything. She's confident, or gives the illusion thereof of being confident. She doesn't say, I can't do that, because everything's her kingdom. Everything is her oyster. She rules. She decides. So I look in the mirror and I see Queen Arlene. Queen Arlene says a whole lot of things. It goes with my confidence of who I am and why I don't feel that I need to keep up with other people. It always surprises me when I tell people I didn't do anything this weekend. I didn't go anywhere. You didn't go anywhere? No, I didn't go anywhere. People have an illusion of me that isn't necessarily true. And part of it is because when you carry a queen, you think of exciting places, doing exciting things, you know, going out, they're doing this, they have this, they got nice clothes. People have an illusion of what a queen is supposed to be. But a queen don't have to be any of those. If you read about queens in history, how they carried themselves, the confidence was inside of them. They felt they can do whatever they want to. It wasn't what other people perceived them to be. They were who they were, and they stood on their own truth, and some of their truths were controversy, and some of the truths were a little sideways, and you pick and choose was queen, but they decided what they wanted to do. And sometimes being the queen and deciding what you want to do, it's not going to be like everybody else, but it's going to be okay, because guess what? It's your mirror, it's your image. And even then, you have to keep thinking, it's mine. Hey, if I made the decision, I can change it. You don't have to be the same thing, but you got to know what you're seeing, because your reflection is what you see in your eyes. Your reflection is what people see. In the real world, people don't look at you, and people don't see. They see what you project to the world. Have you ever noticed after you meet somebody, and I'm going to not say this, but they're not so attractive, and you go out and you start hanging out with them, you start talking, they're funny, they tell jokes, you do different things, you share, after a while you don't notice what they look like at all, because guess what? It wasn't real anyhow. The inside is what's important, not your outside, because as we know, most of us don't look like what we look like when we're 18. We have some features, definitive things. People know who we are when we're 18, but now we don't look like we're 18. Some of us got better, some of us got worse. But the image is, what image do you have, are you looking at? I remember when my sister and I used to joke about it real little, and I just said, yeah, I'm looking in the mirror, and I look like Jane Kennedy. Those who don't know who Jane Kennedy is, research it. And I said, I look like Jane Kennedy. My sister said, she said, you look more like Ted Kennedy. Now, I didn't see Ted Kennedy. She might have saw Ted Kennedy, but to me, I was not. I was who I said I was in my eyes, and I felt like I was all of that. No, I didn't look like Jane Kennedy, for real, but I had the confidence of whoever I look like, I am what I am. You know, there's certain things I'm never going to be, so I might as well be comfortable with, and I'm not going to go and change and maneuver and do all the things. I see what I see, and I am what I am, and I want everybody, because you need to do that. You can't be somebody you're not. You got to be what you see in your mind, and then you act accordingly. If you feel tall and you want to see a tall person, then walk straight, because compared to somebody else, you're going to be tall. Again, I see a queen, and I know out there's a whole lot of kings and queens. Problem is, some of you all don't know where your kingdom is, and you need to bring it back and kind of find it and find yourself. You need to find out who your royal subjects are, so to speak, and be who you are. But what you see, you can see and be anything, and then you go forward and do anything. When somebody says to you, oh, you can't do it, you're too old to do such and such. Yeah, I can. I may have to do it a little different, but you are everything. The universe is your oyster. You are the image you see in the mirror. So again, what do you see when you look in the mirror? What is it that makes you say, hey, let's go, let's do this, let's do that? It's what you see. It's the picture you have in your mind. It's where you want to go in what direction. And once you have that, all these outside forces, they're not going to deter it. So please like and share. I got some very exciting things because, we're going to do this. The year is changing. We're getting ready to move forward into a new year. And I want to make sure we have a clear vision of what we're seeing. Who are we seeing in the mirror? Who is that person? So I thank everybody. Please like and subscribe.